Starting a business in Denmark can be one of the most rewarding professional decisions you make, given the country's strong economy, predictable regulatory environment, and high level of trust across institutions and citizens. In this video, we will cover 3 practical tips to help you move from idea to execution with clarity and confidence. Whether you are a Danish resident considering entrepreneurship for the first time, or an international founder looking to establish a presence in Scandinavia, these principles will help you navigate the process with fewer surprises and a higher likelihood of sustainable success. The first tip is to be deliberate in choosing the right legal structure and ensuring that you meet the basic regulatory requirements from day one. Denmark offers several common business forms, but for most entrepreneurs, the key decision is between operating as a sole proprietorship or establishing a private limited company, known as an APS. A sole proprietorship is quick to set up and can be suitable for freelancers or very small operations, but it does not separate your personal finances from your business liabilities. An APS, on the other hand, requires a minimum share capital investment and slightly more administration, but it gives you limited liability protection and can make you appear more credible to banks, partners, and corporate customers. Regardless of the structure you choose, you will need to register your business with the Danish Business Authority through the central registration system, obtain a CVR number, and sign up for VAT if your expected turnover exceeds the applicable threshold. It is also essential to understand the most relevant labor, data protection, and industry-specific regulations before you start trading. Investing a small amount of time up front to align with Danish rules not only helps you avoid fines, but also signals to customers and counterparties that you are a serious and trustworthy operator in a market that places a premium on compliance and integrity. The second tip is to build your business model around the realities of the Danish market, rather than relying solely on assumptions or importing concepts from other countries without adaptation. Denmark is affluent, digitally advanced, and highly transparent, but it is also relatively small in population, and consumers and companies have well-defined expectations for quality, sustainability, and reliability. Start with a clear articulation of the problem you solve and for whom, then stress test your idea with potential customers in Denmark as early as possible. Conduct structured conversations with target users, gather feedback on pricing, service levels, and digital experience, and be prepared to refine your offer based on what you learn. Pay close attention to how your potential customers already solve the problem today. In a mature market like Denmark, your biggest competitor is often the status quo or a well-established local player. Make sure you differentiate in a way that is truly meaningful in this context, whether that is superior user experience, better integration with existing digital solutions like NemID or MeetID, or a stronger sustainability profile backed by actual data. In parallel, think beyond the domestic market from the outset. Many successful Danish startups design their products and services to be exportable, using Denmark as a stable, high-trust testbed and then scaling into the broader Nordic or EU market. This means building your processes, contracts, and technology stack so they can handle multiple languages, currencies, and regulatory environments without requiring a complete reinvention later. The third tip is to leverage Denmark's ecosystem and support infrastructure as proactively as possible, instead of trying to build everything in isolation. Denmark has a well-developed network of incubators, accelerators, industry clusters, and public support schemes that are specifically designed to help new businesses gain momentum. Explore the offerings of local business hubs, growth houses, and innovation centers that can provide access to mentoring, office facilities, and connections to potential partners and investors. If your business has a technology, green transition, or life science angle, you may find relevant grant programs and innovation funds that can co-finance early-stage development, provided you meet their criteria and can articulate a credible business case. Beyond formal programs, make an intentional effort to build relationships with advisors who understand the Danish legal, tax, and financial environment. A short session with a local accountant or legal advisor can help you structure your company, manage payroll and VAT, and understand your obligations as an employer under Danish labor law, which often emphasizes employee rights, work-life balance, and collective agreements. At the same time, treat the social dimension of networking as part of your work, not an optional extra. Attend local meetups, industry conferences, and events hosted by chambers of commerce or trade organizations, and be prepared to share your story clearly and concisely. Danish business culture values directness, reliability, and follow-through, so ensure that your commitments, from replying to an email to delivering a pilot project, are met consistently and on time. Over time, a reputation for being dependable and transparent can be one of your strongest competitive advantages in Denmark's relatively close-knit market. To summarize, starting a business in Denmark is not only about having a good idea. It is about aligning with the regulatory framework, tailoring your value proposition to local expectations and market size, and making full use of the ecosystem that exists to help you succeed. Choose the legal structure and registration path that match your ambitions and risk profile. Validate and refine your business model with real Danish customers while keeping an eye on international scalability, and actively tap into the networks, advisors, and public support mechanisms that can accelerate your progress. By combining these 3 tips with a disciplined approach to execution and a respect for the norms of Danish business culture, you place yourself in a strong position to turn your concept into a viable and resilient company. If you are considering this journey, now is an excellent moment to take the next concrete step. Clarify your structure, validate your idea, reach out to the ecosystem, and move your plan from paper into practice in the Danish market.